What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So here we go. This is about, nice guys finishing last, no matter what country you're in, but this is going to take place in South Korea. And here, Megan Moon says, nice guys make the worst husbands in Korea, and you will suffer. And let's get into the video.
First words that you might learn because you hear it so often will be 착하다. You might hear stuff like, oh my God, that person is so 착해. It means that that person is nice. And it seems like a lot of people in Korea really strive to be a 착한 사람. And I think that stems from the collectivist nature of the culture. It is one taking one duty. They treat their parents very well. Someone like that seems like the ideal person who you'd want to marry, right? But then after marriage, life with them becomes a living hell. So let's dive right into why you might not want to marry somebody who's considered to be very 착해 here in Korea, because your life might become a living hell. Let it bounce. So if you listen to everything that I said in the intro, all the things that I said sound like ideal things that you might want in a partner, but if you really listen to it, it sounds like people pleasing. And of course, that could be an issue in every country. And if you've ever been with a people pleaser, you know it's not that pleasant. But I think because of certain unique cultural things in Korea, people who tend to be those nice people pleasers, it makes it like 1,000 times worse. So you gotta make sure you don't get ensnared. This is something that I hadn't really thought about, but you guys know my YouTube algorithm is logged into like all of this Korean marriage and psychology stuff. And there are a lot of videos nowadays. Top 3 men you wanna make sure you marry. Avoid these men or your life will be miserable after marriage. So for fun, I click on these videos, but one thing that people are saying over and over again that you don't wanna get mixed up with here in Korea is a 착한 남자, a really, really nice guy. So there's this one YouTuber, Korean lawyer. But in this one video, she sort of went into some of her ideas. This generation was taught, if you're selfless, you're good. If you're selfish, you're bad. If you're lazy, you're bad. If you work hard, you're good. And so a lot of I'm a good kid, and they're sort of unable to realize that humans are multifaceted, right? Sometimes I'm selfish, sometimes I'm selfless, sometimes I'm lazy when I need a break, sometimes I work hard. And I have come across a lot of people who have that mentality here in Korea. I've talked to some people who, like on a weekend, if they're just like kind of sat chilling, watching Netflix, they feel guilty about just sitting down and resting. Kids are in school all day from like morning until like 10, 11 p.m. like at night. And it doesn't seem like people are told that they actually have to be selfish sometimes. In my opinion, that's what actually separates people who are truly good, nice people and people who are not. People who are truly good, nice people are people who take care of themselves.
And yeah, there's a lot of sometimes this going on. And yeah, you do have to kind of see uh, why is Homeboy being so nice? It's like overly nice, not just like the basic niceness. It's like extremely nice. And I'm just like, all right, let's see.
Right? They're selfish when they need to be. They say no when they need to be. They don't allow people to walk all over values. And when they do make decisions, they take responsibility for them. But people in Korea who everyone around would label as being 착해, those people typically are people who really, really, really want to receive praise. And most likely from a very young age, everybody, including their parents, told them, you're a good person, you're such a nice person. So when they grow up, even if they don't actually want to do those things, they sort of need that validation from other people. In the video that I made about materialism in Korea, I don't know if you saw it. If you haven't, see it, I'll link it below. But one of the psychologists there sort of talks about how in Korean society, people learn to get their value from what others think of them as opposed to what they think of themselves. So there are some people who will fight tooth and nail, who will even risk their own lives in order to have a certain reputation or standing in society. They want to have that label of being a good person in society, even if it doesn't match with the values that they're feeling inside. They make decisions that are harmful for themselves, for others, so that they can get that praise and recognition. My personal opinion is that whether or not people are trying to or not, it's a way for people to manipulate the situation. If I go along with what these people want and do what these people do, then they like that people like you. In essence, seems selfish. You're doing this so that you can get this. They will go well above and beyond what they actually would want to do until they get to a breaking point where they kind of explode and then don't want to do anything at all. They highly overstretch themselves. Then there's some other type of people who literally just from a young age have done what their parents wanted and expected of them, what society has wanted and expected of them. So they don't actually know what they want because they've just sort of come around with and I've actually met so many people like that in Korea where you ask people what they want and they don't know. And I've actually found myself leaving those relationships because this person doesn't know what they want to do. They just want to do what I want to do. And that's not a relationship that you can actually have on a deep
And
level.
like, oh yeah, let's do what you want, let's do what you want. And I'm like, okay, just like Megan. Yep, I've left just relationships or things just get out of touch, or I'm like, I'm working, and I get a message like, hey, it's rude not to message. I'm like, yo, hey, asshole, I'm working. I'm not just sitting on my ass, diddling around, wasting time. I'm working even late at night sometimes. So, yeah. All right, here we go.
Making decisions and dealing with negative consequences, sort of a way to avoid responsibility. I went along with what you wanted, and look, we have these bad consequences, and they sort of expect you to take on everything. So if you do get in a deep relationship with this person and a marriage with this person, you'll likely have to make all of the decisions. And then if there's some issues that arise, you will likely have to be the person that solves the problem as well. So there's a video of somebody I really like in Korea, Kim Chang-wook. He made an interesting video, and he talks about how, I've mentioned this before, but in the previous generation, the mom and dad's relationship usually was not that good.
남편하고 우리가 사이가 안 좋으면 아들한테 엄마가 더 집착할 수 있거든.
The sons who are 착해, the nice sons,
엄마가 헤어지려고 그랬는데 나 때문에 헤어지지도 못하고 사는 거니까 내가 잘해야 돼.
and they're like indebted to her. They sort of need to pay their parents back. And unfortunately for a lot of people, their love life suffers because they tend to be stuck between their mom and their wife, and because they don't want to disappoint anyone, especially don't want to disappoint their parents, it's really hard for them to set up boundaries, etc. So within marriage, they'll tend to let their parents walk all over you. So Kim Chang-wook says it's better for you to be one of the sons who's like, hey,
착하지 않으면 별로 영향받지 않아요. 엄마 인생이야. 엄마가 선택했잖아. 내가 언제 나 달라고 했어?
I did not. And it's so funny, the people in the panel were like, oh, that just seems so bad though. But in the video he says that's actually healthy.
이제 요런 자녀들은 정신적으로 건강하더라고요.
So especially if a lot of older people are saying this is a good son, then that means 9 times out of 10 he's going to be trying to follow that older culture, and then in marriage he's going to have a really, really hard time setting up boundaries. And those people feel indebted to their parents. So what they do after you become married, you sort of become one. They sort of expect that you are also going to give and do for their parents as well. It is changing a lot now, but the people who struggle with that, who struggle to say no to their parents, are the people who are the super 착한 남자. The relationship is going to be so hard for you after marriage if you married one of these people. Don't do it. 착한 사람은 부모, 친구, 동료 모두 사람에게 좋고 딱 배우자에게만
All right. When I was with a bunch of Korean Americans, we would talk about, oh, that namja or that guy, 되게 착해. Like, yeah, he's a nice guy. And he goes, yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, 착한 사람. Oh, yeah, yeah. And that means, yeah. In the back of our minds, you're like, nah, you simping. You simping, man. But yeah, I've heard that term, back in the days. Yeah, 착해. 그 남자가 되게 착해. Like the guy is so nice. No, we don't want that. I don't want to be known as the nice guy. Oh, F that. So there you go.
통을증. Even 범윤스님, he's like this
Uh-oh. Sorry about. Come on, what even do these? Guy, get the hell out of here.
talking about these 착한 사람, people who try and be overly good people.
그 부모도 칭찬하고 이웃집 아들 저집 아들 참 착하다. 이런 사람은 결혼의 부적격 남자예요.
He said anybody who's like that is not going to be a good husband at all, because he's going to live his life as being a good son. He will have heard so many times from the old do that, and a lot of parents don't actually want to let go of their children.
결혼해서 우리랑 멀어지고 자기 가정을 더 소중히 여기는 자식들에게 배신감을 느끼고 심각한 질투를 느끼는 부모님들이 의외로 많으세요.
And so without realizing, they actually are impacting their kids negative and or getting divorced. Like there's a lot of people who get divorced because of issues with in-laws. It's one of the reasons why newlywed divorce has skyrocketed. But it just seems like a lot of guilt that people feel for not being a good son and doing what their parents want seems to overshadow what they might feel for their partner. When you're married, you and person responsible for your household, you're going to have to put blockades around other people. You're going to have to make decisions. You're going to have to tell other people no. But a lot of times what happens with these people is after they get married, they sort of see the wife as someone who could help them take care of other people. Or sometimes they expect the partner to also sacrifice for other people as well. So as a result, that house is not being taken care of because they're focused on taking care of other people. I've also heard that there's this phenomenon. A lot of people who in Korea are overly nice because obviously they want that recognition. While they were dating, they just did everything they could to get you, right? They were so nice. But what happens when you get married is it's like, you're my person now. I don't necessarily have to direct that at you, but people who are outside have to make continue. So there's women who like after marriage, the man just changed a lot. Actually, he had like an hour and somebody asked that exact question. When you get married, he said, you treat your spouse as you treat yourself. If your husband was somebody that didn't take care of himself, no matter how much he did for you after marriage, you sort of become him. He will take care of you as much as he takes care of himself originally. And I was like, wow, that's something that I never really thought about. But if you think about it, these
And of course, even the woman's gonna roll out, you know. So that's one of the things. Yeah, no boundaries, and yeah, that nice guy just keeps suffering, and I'm just like, yeah, the number one priority is the husband and wife got to take care of their household. And that's one thing, I'm learned like, yeah, we got to take care of ourselves first. If I was in that position, we come first, not your whole damn family, not the whole damn neighborhood or whatever barangay or whatever neighborhood. Yeah, it's going to be us, first. That's where I am going to be selfish, instead of worrying about everyone else. So here we go.
and they put themselves through hell and recognition from other people. So when you become that spouse, the same thing that they do for themselves, they'll sort of expect from you. It's a very interesting relationship, like husband and wife relationship. So if there is somebody that you see that's really nice and you're considering being with them, you have to look at how well do they take care of themselves? Do they stand up for themselves? Do they put up boundaries? Because if they don't, then when you get in marriage, they won't set up boundaries or protect you guys as a household. How people treat themselves is how they're going to treat you after marriage. I think that's pretty true, except for like people who are like narcissists and stuff like that. That's a little bit different. But you especially have to watch out for that, because one thing that I've noticed in Korea, especially amongst the older people being a bit more collectivistic, is just that on the outside, it seems great. Like, okay, well, the whole group seems to be doing well, but there always are people who are sacrificing in order for that group or that family to be doing well. But one thing that I've noticed is, unfortunately, there are people that take advantage of that within the family. Like I've heard cases of, maybe older parents who come from the countryside, they don't make that much money, but their son makes a lot of money. So he sort of, gives them money every month and takes care of them. And so the mom doesn't want them to actually go off and get married, because if they go off and get married, then that means that he won't be taking care of the mom and dad so much. And I've heard so many cases of family members taking advantage of other family members because they know that this collectivist mindset exists. They know that people have sort of been trained to think of the group before themselves. And so they sort of use that to their advantage and are quite selfish. And they'll just straight up say, I'm taking this. And then there are some people who, with the notion of trying to keep the peace or being seen as a good person, they just sort of let it happen. So if you do marry somebody who's super, super chake, and you notice that within their family, they're the one that tends to be the giver within the family, after you get married, your household is very likely that other households in the family will be taking advantage of you guys for stuff. So you really need somebody they're able to sort of say, okay, we can do this much, but we can't do more than that. Who's willing to set up those boundaries and to take care of you and prioritize you and your family. Girl, there are so many stories of like families taking advantage of other families members. And some people who are super, super chocolate listen to their parents' son. They live with their mom and dad, and they've been trying to leave the house for years, but the mom is against it. She's like, no. She's one of those moms who like sort of doesn't have a good relationship with the father and sort of like latched onto the son. And so I said, well, why are you not leaving? He said, because my mom would be angry. She's against it. And I was like, so if you're living your life, there will be people who don't necessarily agree with what you're doing or peace within your
miserable, huh? Nice. He's gonna make everyone suffer because that thing with your mom. Oh, I can't have you leave, son, because my relationship with my dad isn't that great. It's like, nah. It's time. Sometimes it's time to say, yo, I gotta go and I'm rolling out. And I got, this and my wife, and I want to make, our lives more useful. It's like, what is a theory? Like, when you're in a plane, you put the mask on first, then you put it on everyone else because you got to help yourself, or else if you're not in a good situation, even if you're trying to be a nice guy, you're useless. You're a useless piece of crap if you don't help yourself. You don't focus on your purpose as a guy, as a man, you have to focus on what you need to do. Stop trying to make everyone happy. Jesus. Yeah, and I'm a little bit selfish on that part because I'm just like, yo, I'm just gonna take care of what I'm gonna take care of, and then the rest can come with it. So all right, let's listen in.
I can't leave. And he said, well, because she said, if you're going to leave, then you should be married and leave. And so I was like, sir, you're not going to be able to get married if you live in the house with your mom and you're afraid to make your mom mad? What other reasons do you have for not leaving the house? And he was just like, well, I guess I'm a little bit worried that like maybe it won't go so well. I was like, sir, you are 40, you make good money. Why you can't move across town? When I was 18 years old with nothing, okay, I moved to a different state, went to college. And then when I was 21, I moved to Korea with nothing.
If
Sorry, guys.
millions of others.
Oh, come on. I don't know why.
Person doesn't speak English. And I'm just fine. You, with your 40-year-old self making good money, can move across town from your mom. You will be fine. So people who are overly nice, who want everyone to approve of them, who want to be seen as a good son, they don't want to make their mom mad. They want to just convince their mom, maybe one day she'll let me leave. They're so people pleasing that they want everyone to be on board with the decisions that they make. He is foregoing his life. He is 40. He's not the only one like that. I've heard so many stories of people who are so afraid to leave their parents' house. And I've sort of noticed that just a lot. Like there are family members who don't really have your great interest in mind. They just want what they want. And in this case, it seems like the mom just doesn't want her son to go because that's the person she sort of latched on in place of her husband. And keep her son from getting married, etc. And it's like, it's just a self thing. But everyone else, family, and
You know, in the Black American community, you know, when the moms keep, the single moms keep their sons, they call them son husbands. So we have that case in Korea, son husbands. Yeah, my relationship with you know, the dad is not good. So hey, son husband, yay, yay, yay. So there you go.
attempt to keep her happy is just sort of doing what she wants. People make sure you're not stretching yourself thin and you're only doing things that you know for sure you can do for other people. And another reason that I came across why these people who are super Chakan people don't make good spouses, they typically feed off of praise. They want everybody to say that they're a good person or to think that they're a good person. So if they encounter someone or they're in a relationship with someone who they feel like doesn't think they're a good person, then a lot of the times they'll just stop putting in effort in that person. Obviously, in the household, women, the way that we're designed within marriages, we're the ones that have the most discomfort. So we typically have to speak up. In Korea, coming from parents who are from a lot older society, there's certain relationship skills that seem to be lacking, and a lot of these people, they grew up with moms who did everything for them. So of course there's a learning curve. Do your laundry, do the dishes, just stuff that they hadn't taken on before. So when they get in these marriages and the wife is saying, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, they sort of feel like, well, I'm not getting compliments here. There's this stuff that I need to keep doing, right? My wife keeps telling me that I'm doing stuff wrong, that I need to change and do this, but when I go outside, everybody's telling me I'm a good person. So then in a lot of cases I've heard in Korea is the men sort of just get irritated positively of them. So as a result, it also keeps them from growing and learning necessary skills that they do need for life, but also you can imagine that's not going to be a good situation in a marriage to be in a super close relationship if I heard that you just need to compliment them so much. I think in general, spouses should compliment one another, things that they're grateful and appreciative that the person does. But I heard with these people, we have to compliment them so much more. And that can be grow and work on, and you sort of grow together. But those sort of overly nice people, they have a hard time hearing things that they're doing wrong and have a hard time growing and changing from it. And in general, I've noticed that they actually don't actually think highly of themselves. I'll end on this note. One of the things that Bumnu Sunim said actually kind of stuck with me, but he said, people who don't know how to say no not because they're not nice or just don't know, what they should do. It's because they're very selfish. They want to receive compliments, so they're unable to say no to people. It's like they're sort of wearing a makeup because they don't necessarily think highly of themselves. They're wearing the makeup of compliments from other people to make them in actual.
Yep. And the good old, yep, nice guys, be accepted, Uh, and that's just the way it is, with sometimes when I, go to certain households, I kind of like maybe in 15 minutes, I'm like, dude, what's going on here, So, you know, but yeah, you're a nice guy. It usually ends in disaster. And yeah, like for me, I don't even care. I'm just living here in Korea, living my life. It's like, yeah, I'm not looking for, oh, you're good at this. Oh, no, I'm done with it. I'm just like, yo, I'm just living. I'm just taking care of business. You know, and I've been, in jobs where no praise is a good thing, like when I was, you know, an official for like volleyball, no praise is a good thing. If people talk about you, you in trouble. So I'm used to those things. You're supposed to do the job, and you're supposed to just step up and just do what you're supposed to do. So and yeah, that's what I don't. You know, I just pretty much just want to be just remembered. Just yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. So yeah, but in Korea, oh, yeah, I've seen these relationships. I've been like, I've had friends as Koreans, and I'm just like, okay, this is crazy, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just like done with it. So it is what it is, you know. Things happen, but yeah, too much of a nice guy in any part of the world, you're gonna get used. You're gonna get played. It's like these chicks, like you go on a date and she wants like, yeah, you need to pay for my babysitter, and then you want to feed my 10 kids. I'm like, no, go f yourself. No, and then that's like a $500 dinner, and you get nothing in return. So this nice guy crap, yeah, I don't blame the spouse. They're just like, screw you. I'm gonna now go around the way, and even if Korea's a conservative country, there's all there's cheating going on, even in Korea, you know, and all over the world. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, that's the video. Megan Moon. Yeah, don't be a nice guy. I mean, don't be a complete prick, but yeah, know how to balance it. All right, if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKL special help to King out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.